You can still see Biffle right behind him, not too far. He's not lost a lot of ground after hitting that wall.
Talking about James Finch and his group, not going to run all the races here, but I'll guarantee you they'll be back at Charlotte because, man, they have things that work here regardless of who's driving this car.
I'd say James having a little fun now, and that's what he's looking for out of this. He wants to enjoy this racing, and no better way to do it than be up front.
I mentioned, obviously, Brian Scott. You just saw the leaders lap him. He is back on the racetrack. Steve Arpin back out on the racetrack as well after their problems had sent them to the garage earlier in the event. So through the traffic, Keselowski able to hold on to the lead. You got Newman second, Biffle third, Logano fourth, Leffler fifth. There's only 12 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch is still one of them. He's in 8th spot. I'm not going to count him out yet. He's still on the lead lap, though, not knocking around for the #1 spot. We'll be back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Welcome back to the NASCAR Nationwide Series at Charlotte. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. You will notice the pace car is in front of the field. Caution for the 3rd time in the race for debris in turn number 3, and that will give Trevor Bayne in the 99 car the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass. He was the first guy lap down, 13th position. He'll get sent around the pace car in a little bit and get back on the lead lap. We were coming up on a set of green flag stops. Now this will close the field back up again and give everybody one more chance at adjusting those cars.
Yeah, there are a lot of cars need adjusting, and you see that one car running right behind Brad Keselowski. He's got a good car, and you see a lot of the leaders coming here, all of them. Shannon?
Hey guys, Ryan Newman gives up 2nd place on the racetrack to come down pit road. He said the car was a little bit tight on that last run at the end of the run, so they're going to make a track bar adjustment and 4 tires for Ryan Newman in that one car. Dave?
Greg Biffle needs a trip to the body shop. The guys will tug on those fenders to make sure they're not rubbing after he tapped the wall. It'll be a 4-tire change, mostly tight for Biffle right now. Mike?
And Brad Keselowski loose, center off. They're going to make a chassis adjustment, an air pressure adjustment as well. 4 sticker tires this time around for the leader as they work now on the left side of the car. They take a fuel load of Sunoco race fuel, and they're away.
Easy for you to say, Mike. Race off pit road from Nationwide Insurance. Logano up 2, Leffler up 2.
One number you don't see on there is the 1 car at a slow stop.
And there he is just coming off the pit lane now. So we'll follow up on what happened to Ryan Newman and where he winds up. It is Brad Keselowski leading just past halfway the NASCAR Nationwide Series race at Charlotte.
We are back at under caution at Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is fitting because that's pretty much how this race started. On lap 2, the rookie Steve Arpin in that 7 car finds himself in the wall.
Yeah, Steve gets down on top of Paul Menard. Paul turns him and you see chaos behind him. Mark Green tears up his race car, and we're off to a rocky start.
Chaos being the key word because double file restarts led to more trouble. This one for Brian Scott in the 11. So we had 2 cautions for 8 laps in the first 10 laps, and it led to 8 cars in the garage.
Yeah, you know, right there you saw a double file restart stack up, misses shift, and big problems. Here you see the Casey Kane problems, battery trouble. He pits. You know, this is a problem that's plagued this team. They've had really good cars, really fast cars. They can't seem to put a whole race together. This is the issue that's going to hurt them for the rest of the race.
Yeah, he had 11-second lead. He was gone.
That was the unexpected pit stop from the battery issues with the lead. He had led at that point 29 laps. That was their 5-hour Energy Rapid recap. So far, right now, under caution coming back down, Brad Keselowski is the leader. He's been leading for a while. He seems to have it under control today.
Familiar suspect. Brad is racing hard today. Had that really hard crash in practice, but is really digging in and running hard.
Yeah, he really is. He's got a good car, but I tell you who has the best car on the racetrack is Kyle Busch. He was clicking off some incredible laps. As soon as he moved up to the top of the racetrack to block Kane from putting him a lap down, he really found something, and he was 3 to 5 tenths faster than just about anybody I saw.
And this is a guy that actually went a lap down because he was penalized for speeding on pit road back in the beginning of the race on lap 48 when he made that early stop. When it comes down to it, what are the guys learning on the track right now that may come into play these 90-some laps?
Well, they're learning a lot about their race cars and what they need to adjust them on this last stop. But a lot of what they're learning, too, is grooves. You know, you saw Kyle Busch. He found something there when he was forced to find it that he didn't have before, and that's something that's going to come up later in this race.
What about Greg Biffle in that 27 car? He has been running the high line all day long, made a little contact with the wall a bit earlier, but he has been strong. He's in 4th right now.
you know, that last adjustment they made, they hurt the car a little bit. I'm sure they can come back from that. He, you know, the one thing that concerns me about the 27 car, he's been the fastest at times, but he only has it in one groove, and that's going to limit his possibilities towards the end of the race. But he has been really good if he can stay off the wall.
Well, Brian Vickers is our special guest in the pit studio. He'll be with us all afternoon. AB, who do you got up there?
I've got champion crew chief Andy Petrie, former tire changer, to evaluate what in the world sent Ryan Newman from second back to 12th.
Well, we'll see right here. The right front tire changer is definitely having a problem with the lug nuts falling off. He has to take the time to put them back on, and this takes forever. I mean, you feel like it has taken you a week to put them back on, and it cost them a really good place in the order right here. They were running second when they made this stop, and now they're going to be 12th on the restart, or 11th now.
Yeah, I can probably promise you, as long as you feel like as a tire changer it takes you sitting in that driver's seat, you're only getting matter by the second.
Yeah. So Newman back in 12th instead of second. Brad Keselowski with Joey Logano to his outside for the restart.
Middle three. Downstairs. All clear. All right, you're clear. 21.
Look out. That had potential to get ugly. Nice job, everyone, to get through there.
Yeah, these restarts can get pretty exciting because most of these guys have found with this tire, they don't have as much stagger as what they had. Their cars are really tight, so they're having to free them up. See Kyle Busch get into the back of Jason Leffler right there.
Little chrome horn there.
Yeah, it looked like Leffler wasn't going quite as fast as Kyle wanted to go there.
And better keep an eye on that 18 car, too. You heard Brian Vickers talking about just a minute ago. Before the caution, fastest lap times are being run by this 18. Right now, Kyle's in 5th place, and he wants to get to the front.
And sometimes you find something that works for you just not necessarily by accident, but you're forced into a situation, as Brian was talking about, whenever Casey Kane came up to try to put Kyle Busch a lap down, he moved to the top side of the racetrack to try to go faster. He found that groove working for him. I think he's being a little conservative right here, right now, just on the newer tires, and then he'll move back to the top.
I've seen that too, even with Greg Biffle. He was making a lot of ground on the high lane. Now he seems doing it again. But sometimes on new tires, you'll see these guys go right down to the bottom for 5, 6, 8, 10 laps.
And you know, just we talked at the beginning of this race about how temperature sensitive this track is. You watch when the cars go off into turns 3 and 4. Next lap by, a little bit of shade in that end of the racetrack just for the moment. I can't see out the back of the booth here if that's just a cloud or what. But if that gets back in the sun, that could change the whole thing around for these guys.
Yeah, you just have to be ready and willing as a driver to adjust to all of this. Here's Carl Edwards battling with Ryan Newman. Carl took the time to make a few adjustments on his race car during those last pit stops.
Newman trying to make up the lost ground. Now just ahead of them, Clint Boyer in the 21. Announcement made by Richard Childress Racing that their sponsorship agreement with Zaxby's has been revised. Clint Boyer is going to run another 8 races in this 21 car with Zaxby's sponsorship. Scott Riggs is going to run a couple. And now the Childress team looking for a primary sponsor for this car for a number of races for later this year, as Zaxby's will go to an associate's role for that car. Remember, John West Townley was the driver for that car at the start of the season, and his family has a relationship with that company.
Guys are racing hard right there.
Man.
Got kind of close coming out of turn.
I think Newman's got the better car. Now he gets the advantage off turn 2, but boy, it was getting a little dicey there.
Justin Allgaier, part of that too, had made a nice run up into the top 5 during our first run.
And on the left side of the picture, this for the lead. Joey Logano trying to get underneath Brad Keselowski. I won't give you one of those if that was the last lap things. Because I don't know who led it if that was the last lap. That was close.
We've seen Joe Logano do a nice job of those guys adjusting on this car. He wasn't the best in those first 2 runs, but obviously they've made this car a lot better and more competitive for him. He's ready to go to the front.
That's one of the things I've liked about him that you see. He really does get his car better and better and better as the race goes on. So he's got a good feel for it, and he's communicating it well to his crew chief.
And through. So Joey Logano going to lead this race at lap 115. Dave, he's out in search of a W.
Yep, and teammates may help that effort today. Crew Chief Kevin Kidd told Joey after that pit stop before they went green, I got a good feeling about the direction we're going because it helped you a little bit earlier. And the 18, your teammate Kyle Busch, was doing the same thing, and he was the fastest during that last session. Brian Vickers isn't the only one who saw that. Crew chiefs up and down pit road knew the 18